Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Kings of the North podcast. We have my favorite episode, usually of the fantasy football year. We have our sleepers, breakouts, and bust here today, and we have no takes that are bad. I have my corduroy of villains here, Dabs and Hollywood. And
What up?
unfortunately, Leatherwood is trying out for the cheerleaders of the Cowboys, so he could make it. But
He might make it.
in a sense, we are villains because these takes they're gonna make some people bad at the busts. Could definitely do it, but even the breakout sleepers, people can disagree with us. So make sure to tell us what you think in the comments and like and subscribe the video. But we have a nice podcast prepared for you guys. How we're gonna do this is we're gonna go by each category. We're gonna start with our sleepers, with Dabs and Hollywood going first, and then I'll go last and then we'll go to breakouts and busts. So, Dabs, why don't you kick us off with your top sleepers of this season?
All right, all right, all right. We're going to start with my boy, Luther Burden III. That's right. Chicago Bear himself, the Yak
Wow.
Daddy. That's what I'm calling
Surprise,
him, the
surprise.
Yak Daddy. Right? That'd be a great fantasy name, Yak Daddies.
No,
All
I
right.
don't think it would.
So here's a cool
YC
stat
for
for
life.
you on the Yak Daddy himself. All
Please
right,
stop.
in his in his sophomore year, he caught over 1,200 yards, receiving yards. So listen to this: the only other SEC wide receivers to post 1,200 yards as a freshman or a sophomore: Jamar Chase, Alshon Jeffrey, Mike Evans, Jerry Jeudy, AJ Brown, and Yak Daddy himself, Luther Burden. So that is major
Good
company right
company.
there.
Yep. Yeah.
I
All
mean,
turned out to be
some
really good.
studs, right? So the cool thing is, Burden averaged a broken tackle every other reception and became the first wide receiver in PFF history with 30 broken tackles on 80 or fewer targets. Right? That's pretty good. It says the only other SEC wide receiver with 30 forced missed tackles, Malik Neighbors. So again, killer company. So now you take Yak Daddy and then you put him in Ben Johnson's offense, right? And he's playing the slot for the Bears. So notice what Ben Johnson in 3 seasons with the Lions in the slot position has given Amon-Ra St. Brown. 106 receptions, 119 receptions, 115 receptions in the slot, Amon-Ra. So now you put Luther Burden in there. He's 4.3, 4.4 guy as far as speed goes. He's been killing it in preseason. I'm telling you, this guy in training camp is just kicking rear end. He's catching everything. He's played lights out in preseason too. Very similar to what Hollywood's going to be talking about with one of his sleeper guys. So he's playing some ball. I'm telling you, this guy might be the Bears' number 1 by the end of the year. And that's a big, tall order because you got DJ Moore, Rome Odunze, right? Odunze is
surprising.
just super talented. DJ Moore is a stud. But this guy, he's in some rare company with those stats. So he's one of my sleepers, man.
So before you move on, Dabs,
Yep.
I just want to quantify what our definition of sleepers are before we continue. Our sleepers are someone that is just not well known or highly drafted this season that has a chance to pay back big time. And if you guys could guess, where do you think Luther Burden in a full PPR league is going? And in what round, what pick, something like that?
I think he's going unpicked.
I was gonna say undrafted.
It's pretty close. I think the average is 154 to 166. So that
So
or
around,
undrafted.
yeah.
So this is a guy that's just not he's readily available with some major upside like Dabs said. So anyway, Dabs, go on.
All right. So unfortunately, I'm going to move to a Packer. Makes me sick. Makes me really sick.
Talk about him,
But
Dabs. Tell me.
mad
Trying to get on your good side
Mad
there,
respect. I've
Greeny.
talked about this guy before on the podcast. Matthew Golden. Ridiculous.
Mm.
Ridiculous
Oof.
sleeper here. So the guy ran, I think it was a 4.2940 at the
He
NFL
was
Combine.
Yes, he was the second fastest player at the
Good
combine.
God,
Outside
man.
of Max Hairston.
I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
listen,
he
man,
would know.
the Packers have no one stepping up for the number one receiver. There's not been a number one since Devontae Adams. Everything I hear out of camp is this guy is like reaching unprecedented levels, man. The organization is talking about him like it's like he's the greatest rookie since like, Devontae Adams. Every
Yep.
time someone is asked, the answer is some variation. Yeah, he's good and he's only scratching the surface of his potential. That's all we're hearing. So
Yep.
this guy, if he takes the horns, takes the receiver one, he could be a top 10 wide receiver in fantasy by the end of this year. Because that Packers offense, if he does take the one by the horns, the Packers are going to do well this year. But he's got to stay healthy. But with that kind of speed, he's going to get open quite a bit, man.
Mhm.
So those are my two sleepers. I think Matthew Golden, Luther Burden, the third, staying in the NFC North. Those two guys are major sleepers that could have massive fantasy years.
Yeah, and Matthew
Love it.
Golden is going 6th, 7th round.
Even later. I saw him
Even
go
later
man.
in a lot of leagues. And
Yeah.
he's a guy the Packers are talking about a lot just for the fact that he has incredible hands.
Mm-hmm.
Something the Packers desperately need. But I love those picks, Dabs. Very, very nice picks. These are players that you can get cheap,
Yep.
and that is the point of sleepers. So now, Hollywood, give us your two sleepers of the 2025 season.
All right. So my first one is going to be a quarterback for an undesirable team. We've talked pretty negatively about them this year in our rankings, but so this quarterback is going at QB 22 in fantasy drafts. But let me tell you what his schedule after his bye when he was playing last year equaled him out to be. He was QB 14, then QB 8, QB 20, QB 18, QB 2, QB 19, and then week 18, which is kind of an interesting week, but he was QB 1. Okay.
Ooh.
So over the course of from week 12 to week 18, he was quarterback 8 in rankings.
Wow.
Okay. Who do you think that was?
Ooh.
Because I know you guys know the name, but you wouldn't guess that.
Yeah.
Right. So
I already know the answer.
So Bryce Young, right? Like
Mhm.
it's such an interesting story from him because
Mm-hmm.
we watched his first year being the number one overall pick.
Yep.
And being excited for the Panthers, honestly, for Bryce Young to get in there and see what they could do with him.
Yeah.
But honestly fell flat on his face. He was not quite ready for the NFL. It just didn't work out well for him. Got benched in the middle of his second year, or got benched, then played at the end of his second year last year, and that's when this happened. And he kind of took back off, the way that we wish he would have in his first year. But now he has better weapons than he did the previous year. He's got Teteroa McMillan. I mean, this guy is, in my opinion, I think he's probably the second best rookie wide receiver this year outside of Ibuka. But if he can grab on to that skill that he showed at the end of last year, I honestly think QB 22, I mean, that is almost out of playing in two QB leagues.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's in there, but people aren't really looking at him until that well is almost dry.
Mm-hmm.
And so QB 22 is his ADP right now, which is incredible. I think that he is a crazy steal at the end of drafts. To just sit on your bench and just see how things go, because if things start taking off for him with his receivers, he's got Jalen Coker, he's got Xavier Legette, the man, the mumbler, the legend himself. If they can just get on the same page, man, I honestly think that that Bryce Young could finish out the year strong, and you'd be happy you have him on your bench for sure.
I really like that. I just Sorry, Hollywood. I just
Yeah,
wanted to ask a question. Hollywood, you might know this. You've been doing a research into it, but how many touchdowns rushed do you think Bryce Young had in his last 6 games last season?
Hmm. That was not a statistic that I wrote down,
Uh
but
oh.
No, no, it's this is gonna help your case though. How many touchdowns do you think he rushed in the last 6 games?
I'm gonna say 4.
Dabs?
I'm gonna say 5.
That's correct. In the
5,
last
nice.
6 games of the season, he rushed 5 touchdowns. I mean, that's something you want to see from good fantasy quarterbacks. And at his average draft position, he is barely drafted, if that. But anyway,
Mm-hmm.
go on, Hollywood.
Yeah, so I thought that that was just I think that's a great point there, Greeny, about that about Bryce Young. He has upside with his legs, and we all know that a rushing quarterback in fantasy is a cheat
Mm-hmm.
code. We've seen it with all of the top tier quarterbacks, and so even if he can put on a show with his legs, he'd be an even better steal. My next one is a running back that seemingly came out of nowhere, but it seems to be going somewhere very quickly because of injury on his team and just because of skill. Honestly, I mean, he's been showing it in the preseason, and it's looking pretty good for him. And it's Ollie Gordon, the third string running back for the Miami Dolphins. Now we know that the Miami Dolphins have an extremely run heavy offense whenever they're injured, right? I mean, which is very often. So we saw that Devon Achane, well, I say run heavy, they use their backfield a lot. And Devon Achane, he caught a ton of passes out of the backfield. He's a very efficient runner. But the problem is Devon Achane's also not very healthy. He doesn't
Yep.
stay healthy often. And
Mhm.
so this preseason, we've seen a lot out of Ollie Gordon, not so much out of Jalen Wright. And that was what did Tyreek Hill say? It was maybe a week and a half, or maybe it was 2 weeks ago. He said
Yep.
that if that Devon Achane was not a third down back, they need to take him
Yeah.
off the field on third downs, right?
He said
Well,
they needed a goal line back.
guess how much? Guess how much Ollie Gordon weighs? Guess his size. In fact, just try and
He's got to be over 2. He's over 210, right?
Yeah, I think he's 230.
he's
Well, that's
230.
he's not 230. That'd be a big boy.
Jeez.
But no,
yeah, that's right. Get the fridge back there.
he is 6'1", 225.
Whew.
That's a big back.
That is
Man.
a big man, right? And Jalen Wright had an average of 1.5 yards per carry.
It's terrible.
Ugh.
That's coming out of
I'm-
Tennessee too, man. It's
Yeah,
not
sorry,
Yeah.
balls,
right?
but
I mean, what are you going to do about that? But Ollie Gordon here has averaged, I think, let's see here. I think during his game against Jacksonville was 5.4 yards per carry.
Solid.
He got first team rushes or first team attempts and looked good doing it. And so I honestly can see Ollie Gordon taking that second that backup behind Devon Achane, and I'm not so sure it's even a backup come mid-season if Devon Achane is showing that injury, because I think he's even injured a little bit right now, and so is Jalen Wright. And if they and so Ollie Gordon could easily sneak his way into potentially like a 60-40 timeshare or being that goal line back, which pushes himself into a position for a flex opportunity in certain games throughout the season for you to have. So I think that he's a great sleeper to stash on your bench as well, that you could potentially be able to start midway through the season, seeing how the Dolphins season goes with their injuries and stuff.
yeah. No, that's and this is why it's so prevalent to stay updated on the news. So Devon Achane is not even guaranteed to play week 1.
Right.
He's dealing with a calf injury, and these soft tissue injuries, especially for a speedy running back, is not good. Guess who else? And they say he's gonna play week 1, but guess who else was said to play week 1 last year with a calf injury?
McCaffrey.
CMC.
Yep, CMC. And guess what? He landed on IR
McCaffrey.
pretty quickly after that. And Devon Achane has shown previous injury history. Do you guys remember not this last draft, but the draft before, what the college season, what were some of Ollie Gordon's numbers? So I'll read them to you because before this year, he was projected to be a top 10 draft pick.
Mm-hmm.
His 2024 or 2023 college season, he rushed for 1,700 yards and 21 touchdowns, leading the country in rushing. And so the only reason he went as low as he did in this year's draft was he had a little bit of a disappointing season in 2024 with 880 rushing yards and 13 touchdowns. But this is a guy that's clearly flashed the ability to be explosive. So I really love that pick.
That's similar to Luther Burden too, because he had a down year his junior year, so
And
his
the
draft
Dolphins
stock fell to the second round.
The Dolphins got him in, I think, I want to say the 6th or 5th round, somewhere around there.
Mm-hmm.
And this is an undrafted running back, by the way, guys. He's not getting drafted right now. I think Jalen Wright and Devon Achane are obviously going ahead of him. This is someone you need to pick up on your waivers because he very well could start in week 1. So very good picks, Hollywood. I love those. All right. I'm going to go on to my sleepers this season. And when I was looking at situations, I love this rookie class, man. I could not find two better people than two rookies for my sleeper picks that you guys had not already talked about. My first one is the running back for the Dallas Cowboys, Jadon Blue. He is from Texas. And I just think if you look at the two running backs ahead of him on the depth chart right now, it's Miles Sanders and Javonte Williams, the most disgusting running back room in the NFL. Javonte Williams was such an inefficient back last season. He caught 70 passes last year in a Denver Broncos very good offense. I don't even think he got 400 yards off of it. It was he caught it and immediately did nothing with it. Yeah. And then you have Miles Sanders, who we know is just not efficient. He's been a journeyman so far. And when you look at Jadon Blue, he comes from, a good school, Texas, and at the combine, he ran a 4.38. He was he was known as a fast pass-catching dual threat running back at Texas. And he had some good production. Coming out of the draft, he compared himself to Jahmyr Gibbs, which is a crazy comparison, but the NFL draft analysis compared him to Darren Sproles. And I think I almost view him in a Chase Brown sort of situation this season. Because if you look at Chase Brown last year, you're on an offense, this defense is going to be bad. They're going to have to pass the heck out of it. And so Chase Brown came in as a guy he was fast and he ran pretty efficiently, and for the most part, he caught a lot of passes. And if you look at this running back room, Jadon Blue looks to be the best at doing that, especially with his speed. He could be a guy who is not being drafted at all right now. He's undrafted. He could be a guy that really ends up the starter a quarter of the way through the season, just like Chase Brown was. I remember in one league, I picked up Chase Brown after 6 games. Someone had dropped him.
That's crazy.
Yep. And in the second half of the season, Chase Brown ended up averaging the third most points out of any running back on average per game. So I could definitely see that because I don't believe the Cowboys will be a super good team this year, but I do think they will have a good offense. If you look at Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, they have some offensive line pieces that'll make it sustainable. I think they're just going to throw the heck out of it. And the running back you want on that team is not Javonte Williams or Miles Sanders. It is the young Jadon Blue.
So that is my ADP right now is like 44. Running back 44.
It's low. He's buried. Yeah. Because right now I think he's listed as the RB3, but Chase Brown was listed behind Zach Moss And I guess he was just listed behind Zach Moss last season, but he beat him out of the job. So
Crazy.
I think it's
And
very
they
possible.
waived Zach Moss too, so
Yeah.
he's not even there anymore.
And now look at where Chase Brown's going. He's going in third round.
Yep.
Incredible.
And honestly, I think that's a good value for him. But
Yep.
I'm gonna move on to my second sleeper, who's another rookie. I love so many rookies from this class. I don't know
Great
what it
one.
is about this class, but it
It's
feels
a
like
great running back class, isn't it?
the rookie running backs are
Awesome.
all in a good spot where I would love to take them. The rookie wide receivers, I love them all. Even the tight ends look pretty good. But this one, I'm going to focus on a wide receiver. It is a wide receiver from the Texans. It is another Jaden Higgins.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you look at the profile of this player, he went to a big school, Ohio State. And he was very productive in Ohio State, but he is also 6'4" at 22 years of age, from a big school. And he goes to an offense that just saw, if you guys remember, through the first half of the season, this Texans team was supporting two top 15 wide receiver numbers in Nico Collins and Stephon Diggs. And now they took Jaden Higgins and Jalen Noel, both from the same school. But the only problem with Jaden Noel is that so far Christian Kirk, they say he's locking up the slot position, and that's what Jalen Noel plays. But the outside position is completely open, and Jaden Higgins is a huge man. And if you think about it, I personally, the Joe Mixon news about him being on the PUP to miss at least the first 4 weeks of the season, I don't think this running game is going to be any good. I think they're going to have to air it out, especially this to start the season. And if he can get going, it will carry him through the season. This is a big target. If Nico Collins has any sort of injuries like we've seen in the past, it vaults him up even higher. But I think even opposite of Nico, this guy will get plenty enough work to have fantasy relevance. And he's going, man, I got him super late in a draft a couple days ago. I think it was like the 14th round. It was super late. It's not someone you really have to pay a big price for. So those are my two picks, two rookies.
Nice.
What are your thoughts on what Tank Dell is going to do to that, though?
I think Tank Dell's going to miss half the season.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not been able to stay healthy, man.
Like, so that injury that he sustained, it's really sad because I really did like Tank Dell. I had him in my rookie season. But that injury he sustained has like taken players out of the NFL.
Right. Yeah, it was nasty.
It's rough. So even if he does come back, it's gonna be a long road. So I'm not too worried about it. Especially just his size and youth is hard to keep him off the field. At 22 years old, at 6'4", to be the type of player from Ohio State as he was.
You know what that situation reminds, not the Tank Dell, but with Higgins and Nico Collins is it reminds me, especially with the type of quarterback play that they get, is Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and Joe Burrow. Pocket passers, just very stable. The downside is the offensive line. See, both teams, realistically.
Yeah, it's interesting. I was about to say, it's interesting that you brought that up because they just released a 2025 offensive line ranking, and the Texans were dead last. The Colts were like fourth, or not the Colts. The Bengals were fourth from last. So somehow they get it done, though. I see it. Like, the comparison is so vivid, though. That's a very good comparison, which, that could just mean this is a value Bengals offense that you could really get those types of finds in.
And value, I mean, you've got Nico Collins. That is as good. I mean, what was he going at? He's like wide receiver 8 or something like that.
Yeah, early second round he's going.
So, I mean, and he produces top 5 numbers as long as he's healthy. And we don't know what the offensive line is going to do. They put a first round pick into nope, I'm thinking of the Patriots. Anyway, I was gonna say Will Campbell, but
I mean, they traded away Laramie
yeah,
Tunsil,
that
so
was
yeah,
a
bad. No.
nutty move.
Yeah.
Um, but anyway, so I honestly I agree with you. That's a good comp. Is that a budget Bengals offense is what you could get from the Texans,
It's very
including
it's very possible. Because in the early part of the season, last season, their offensive line was not good, and the Texans still were putting out numbers. Nico was like the wide receiver 2 through 6 weeks,
Oh, I had him. I was
and
enjoying it.
Stephon Diggs was still very relevant.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's very possible. We're gonna go over Leatherwood's list. R.I.P. Hope the Cowboys do you right.
He's probably
But,
a cheerleader by now.
Yeah, he's probably waving his pom poms as we speak. But his sleeper picks, and I really like these. Usually me and Leatherwood disagree on a lot of things, but these sleeper picks I really like. To start off, his first one is a backup running back for the Seattle Seahawks.
Oh, Charbonnet.
Zach Charbonnet.
Yeah,
Love
I'll
that
take
dude.
it. I'll
And
take
You
it.
should have
so-
him on every team on your bench, ready to go.
I totally agree. And the further we go into the closer we get to the season, the more I'm like,
He's a beast.
yes. So in the preseason, they've even talked
Beast.
about Charbonnet needs more times, and Kenneth Walker is already
Injured.
dealing with an injury. So what do you guys think about this?
I love it.
I
love
it's,
it.
It's
They're
a
gonna
great
need,
pick.
and they're going to be relying. I would assume
Mhm.
that they're going to be relying on the run with this. I mean, they've got Sam Darnold at the helm,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
I mean, they're going to have to run. I mean, they've got JSN and Cooper Cup. I
Yep.
mean someone with wheels has got to use them for sure.
And Charbonnet's a big boy, dude. He's sort of profiles the same way as Ollie Gordon. He's 6'1" as well, well over 200 pounds. So this is a big boy that, even though the Seahawks offensive line isn't that good either, he could bruise. He could take the punishment. So he's going super late. I think I snagged him in one of the
Mhm.
last rounds of my draft because Kenneth Walker is going in the 4th and 5th round.
Wow.
It's a great value.
Yeah.
Yep,
So-
I like that.
His second pick is the only healthy wide receiver on the San Francisco 49ers.
Ricky
Is
Pearsall.
Ricky-
that a sleeper?
Ricky Pearsall. Yeah,
Oh,
he could
gosh.
probably count more as a breakout as a year 2, but he's a good sleeper because he is technically going later than Juwan Jennings in a lot of drafts.
hmm
But if you think about it, Juwan Jennings is dealing with another calf injury
Yep.
as well.
Niners are always banged up, bro.
And I think Juwan Jennings is also dealing with a money thing too, with
Yeah,
the contract.
The money injury,
Yep, money
his
injury.
his wallet's hurting.
Yep.
I gotta read. So I had pulled this up and then let it go, but I'm gonna read you guys Ricky Pearsall's last 4 games.
Which
Oh,
was solid, especially the
they-
last two.
I remember. Yeah,
It was his last. It was his last 2.
Yeah.
So he scored 31 points and then 19, both in the playoffs. But he was 8 for 10 for 141 yards
Yep.
in week 17. It seemed like it had clicked because we forget that this guy was shot to start
In-
the season
in the
Mhm.
chest.
in the chest. Shouldn't have been living. So he started off super slow, and then he was buried by a couple wide receivers there, but he had started to get going towards the end. And this 49ers team under Kyle Shanahan has proven every year they can produce fantasy relevant
Well, and
wide
he's-
receivers.
And he's super athletic. He did a 4.41 40-yard
Mhm.
dash in the combine. The dude's got a 42-inch vertical. So I mean, he's an athlete, man.
Did you guys ever see his they called it the best catch of the season in his last year at Florida?
Mm-mm.
Oh, if you have time, you got to look it up. He's known for his hands. He
Mhm.
snags a ball sideways and just tucks it into his chest in his last year at Florida. The dude has phenomenal hands too, so it can only help him.
So
Yeah, for
no,
sure.
I love
But-
that.
But those are the sleeper picks for Leatherwood. You know, he's bringing it strong from the depths. Now we're gonna move on to our breakouts and how we're gonna categorize our breakouts. Is it has to be a year two player that maybe has shown some flashes in year one or year two, however old they are, but they had shown some flashes, and now we believe they're ready to take the step up into huge fantasy relevance. So
That's right.
Dabs has a good list. You can't argue with him.
I'm going to
Go
break
on ahead.
Greeny's heart here. Greeny's not going to want to hear this. 'Cause
I'm
in
gonna
the
argue with
same
him.
Dang division. Duh Bears. All right, Caleb Williams. I have to go with him, man. I've watched him all preseason. I've looked at this Ben freaking Johnson show, and it's been incredible. Like, this guy don't take no crap from anybody, you know.
Yep.
And so he's been riding Caleb Williams like, you know, that nail polish on his fingers, bro. It's been quite a bit. So here, this is a cool fact for you. I'm going to ask a question here. So Ben Johnson set the goal for Caleb Williams for 70% completion rate this year, right? So what 5 quarterbacks last year did that? We had 5 in 2024 that did it. So each of you,
Hollywood, you guess first.
go ahead, Hollywood. See what you got.
Said 70% completion rate.
Or better. Yes, 70% or better completion rate. There was only 5 in the NFL that did it.
Oh shoot! I feel like I saw something on this.
Some of these are like, wow,
Well,
I didn't know that.
How about this? You throw out one name, I'll throw out another. We'll go back and forth till we get 5.
Yeah.
All
All right. We're gonna go. We're gonna go with. I'm gonna take a long shot. Was it Sam Darnold?
No.
Oh wow, wow. Honestly, though, I could have saw it. I know for a fact this guy did it. Because I'm in the same division as him, Jared Goff.
That's 1.
All right,
Burrow.
2.
I'm gonna take Lamar Jackson.
Nope.
Oh, really?
Mm.
You got 2 of 5, boys.
I thought he was super efficient last year.
Some of these are very surprising. You got
Are we
Goff
gonna-
and Burrow.
Are we including?
All right, I'm going to give you some clues. He's in the
I think
AFC East.
I think I know another one. Was Geno Smith on the list?
That's 3.
Ah,
Geno stinking
yeah,
Smith.
Geno Smith. I
Had
knew it was.
70.4% completion rate
Yeah.
last year. No joke. That's 3.
I was gonna say Gino, but Drake May.
Nope.
All right, then
AFC
it's Tua.
East, bro.
Then it's Tua.
Tua is 4.
Oh, come on! He barely started.
I know.
I'm just saying, guys.
Yeah.
All right,
When
so
healthy,
we have 4.
When healthy.
You got 4. We got 1 more. He's in the NFC South.
Baker.
That's right. That's 5.
Wow,
So,
yeah. Baker did have a very good season.
So
like
here's
that.
the percentages. Tua was number 1 in the NFL for percentage completion, 72.9. Goff was 72.4. Mayfield 71.4. Burrow 70.6. Geno Smith, I would have never thought 70.4.
I can see it. Geno is still a very underrated quarterback.
Yep, and Pete Carroll and him work together pretty well, so they should do pretty good out there in Vegas, man. So
Yep.
That's what I'm thinking. I think that Caleb Williams under Ben Johnson is going to take the direction. He's going to take the butt kicking. I think he's going to go over 4,000 yards this year. I think he's going to throw for 30 touchdowns, so he's going to be the first Bear to do any of that.
He's got the weapons for it.
Interestingly, from a fantasy perspective, how many rushing yards did Caleb Williams have in 2024? Anybody want to take a guess?
I'm gonna say he had a decent amount because I
I'm
remember.
gonna say 350.
Okay.
I was gonna say 300 something, like 370.
489.
That's pretty good.
So almost 500 yards rushing on top of 3,600 yards passing. So this was a very interesting stat that me and Hollywood were talking about before the show, which blew my mind. There is a MVP candidate that only threw for 100 more yards than Caleb Williams, quarterback from last year.
I know
Hollywood,
that's
who
Josh
was it?
Allen.
Josh Allen.
Yeah,
That's crazy. Josh Allen only threw for 3,700 yards, but he wasn't playing the last game. He was out on a lot of the fourth quarter games because they were so far ahead, you know.
And he also scored like a bajillion more touchdowns than Caleb
did.
Williams did.
But
But
that's crazy though
yeah.
that it was just 3,700 yards. I would have thought for sure Josh Allen would have threw over 4,000, but he didn't need to for them to win, which was pretty
I
cool.
mean,
Or
yeah.
the MVP.
So that's my number one breakout candidate. Of course, that's my homer pick too, but I think he's gonna do well under Ben Johnson. My second breakout pick comes from Hollywood's division, AFC East, and it's Drake May. I think Drake May is going to have
I like it.
a very, very good year under Coach Mike Vrabel. His OC is Josh McDaniel. This is his third stint with the Patriots, man. Can you believe that? It's crazy, but Josh always does really well with the quarterbacks. It's a system that quarterbacks do well in, and I think Drake is going to do that. He's got new weapons. He's got Stefon Diggs. He's got Travion Henderson from Ohio State. The guy does not fumble. Every time he touches the ball, he's electric. I mean, you saw the first time he touched the ball in preseason, he took it for 100 to the house.
He also
crazy.
pass blocks very well.
Oh,
Yeah.
God. Like, nobody gets through this guy. I mean, I wanted the Bears to get Travion Henderson so stinking bad, but this guy is a fantasy stud. But,
Complete back.
oh, it's just crazy. But they got Will Campbell, and he is one of my favorite linemen,
He's a
from the class.
dog.
That guy
He's got
is
that
a
dog.
beast, man. And then they got Kyle Williams in the third round, another speedster. So I think,
He's sneaky.
they really surrounded him with some good weapons. He only played 13 games last year because I don't think he started the season as the number one starter.
No.
He threw for 2,200 yards, 15 touchdowns, 10 picks. He had a 66% completion rate, which was pretty good for a rookie. So I think he is going to do gangbusters, but it's Caleb and Drake May, so it's picks 1 and pick 3 in the draft that I think is going to have a huge second year. So
He also had a decent amount of rushing yards. Like Drake May,
Yeah.
I almost feel like he's more of a bet to like rush more than Caleb Williams.
he rushed for 421.
And 13 games started.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah, it's crazy. No, both great picks. I honestly feel like this almost stands the test. I don't think we knew what we were getting with last year's quarterback draft.
Oh, man. And the
I think
receivers.
it will go down as one of the best quarterback drafts of all time. I mean,
I
it's
think
just
so too.
I don't think there was a single miss that we know of yet. There's some quarterbacks that are yet to have their first NFL game, as JJ McCarthy will do
Yeah,
soon.
I think
But yeah,
it's better than what is the all-time class? 83 or 84 Elway's class.
yeah,
That's considered the best.
They also
supposedly.
talk about
Elway, Marino.
Herbert's class with Tua, Herbert, Hurts, Jordan Love,
Yeah,
Burrow.
that's a killer class too.
That's a
Yeah.
nasty class, dude. But yeah,
Mhm.
great picks, man. Hollywood, what do you got for us?
Well, what we will start off here is we're going to go with a breakout tight end. Now, we saw a little bit, we've seen flashes of him throughout the years because he is not a year two guy. This man has been around the league for quite a while. And so, but he's been recently shipped over to a team in need of some pass catchers. And we might call him the Joker for a little while based off of the role that Sean Payton is going to put him in. But that's Evan Ingram, right? So we saw how Jacksonville used Evan Ingram there for a little while before Brian Thomas came in. Evan Ingram, I think 2 years ago, ended the season as one of the top tight ends.
Yeah,
like
he was
an amazing pick. Last year, though, did not quite play up to it. And to that point, it's almost a little bit of a surprising thing that Sean Payton has chosen this Joker type role for his tight ends. In 2024, guess how many receptions the tight ends had on the Broncos?
Less
Total.
than
God.
75.
Can't be much. It's got to be like 50.
You both hit the over.
Oh,
With
no.
all tight ends on the team, 41
Good Lord.
for 188 yards.
Jeez,
okay,
that's terrible.
and 2 touchdowns. I mean, that's an incredible stat. Incredibly bad when you think about trying to bring in someone to a team and then hope they do well.
Mm-hmm.
But they just got rid of Vele. They just got rid of one of the wide receivers. I mean, now they do have Cortland Sutton, right? They've got the backfield is looking pretty good, and J.K. Dobbins and R.J. Harvey, right?
Yeah.
That's actually going to be a pretty exciting
They
backfield.
got Marvin Mims too.
And they've got Marvin Mims, and he is going to be he's going to be a fun person to watch this year.
Threat, man.
Like, deep threat. That's even a deep sleeper. I don't even know if that's really it's
Mhm.
not a deep sleeper because he's probably going to be on people's teams very very soon. But Evan Ingram could easily provide those hands, those targets, those checkdowns for Bo Nix. Not sure if he's going to need it because we've seen him throw some really deep passes, some really nice passes to Cortland Sutton and such. So I could see Evan Ingram as a breakout for me this year. And I'm hoping for it, honestly. I would love to see the Broncos go crazy. You know,
Yeah.
Take
Bo
down the
Nix
Chiefs.
even throw for 4,000 yards. But my next one is for my boys. Right, this is a homer pick, but it's not a homer pick because I had to choose it out of thin air. This is one that actually has implications, high implications for teams this year for a potential number one for the 2025 or the 2024 MVP candidate. Right. So even though we've already talked about what he threw last year, Josh Allen threw 3,731 yards. He missed the entire game on game 18, week 18. He played the first snap just to or snap to keep his streak going of games played. Right, but otherwise didn't play another snap. He also was pulled in multiple games throughout the season in the fourth quarter because of blowout, and still was at 3,731 yards, 28 passing touchdowns. So there can be hopefully some positive regression with that. We want to see more, but still serviceable. And now we're seeing this guy year 2 in Keon Coleman. First year was not impressive. Tell me what you think his yards were last year.
Just 364.
I think it was a little over 800, wasn't it?
Let's see. Hold on. Let's see. It was
not
over 800. Nope. It was 29 receptions for 556 yards.
Keon Coleman?
Mm-hmm.
Man.
Yep.
That's underwhelming.
Yep. I for sure thought it was about 750. I was thinking 750. 556 yards on but he had 4 touchdowns. So, I mean, he wasn't horrible. He wasn't some sort of revelation or anything.
No.
But this year's preseason games, the training camps, the vibes around the Bills organization is that Keon has walked into their facility, into their practices as a new player that they did not have last year. And I can see the path for him to go nuclear this year. We've got Khalil Shakir. He is a great guy, great receiver, but he gets a lot of the underneath stuff, and so, but Keon is this contested catch threat constantly. We were talking, Dabs, about the breakout game, not necessarily a breakout, but where we could see him start to get the offense last year, which was the Seahawks game, where he ripped the ball away from Witherspoon in the end zone for a tough man touchdown, right? Just an angry touchdown. And he played Witherspoon the whole game. Like, he was just dogging it. Like, he was just mean mugging him, was just pointing at him and things like that. He was playing tough. And from then on, he really started to show some new colors. And they're saying they have seen a different player than that this year. His work ethic, his practices, and have all been immaculate. Then when you get into games, the preseason games and such, his route running, contested catch, it's all been there. And there has not been a single negative thing that any person had to say about Keon Coleman this year. And even though there are a lot of mouths to feed in this wide receiver room, last year Josh Allen threw a touchdown pass to 11 different players. Okay. That has never happened. Okay. Never has there been 11 different touchdown receivers on a single team.
It's crazy.
Let's call that regression as well. So we increase the number of touchdowns, passing touchdowns, and you decrease the number of spread out touchdowns. And we start to see things start to trickle into Keon Coleman's camp, right? And he had 4 last year. I could see him getting 1,000 yards this year if Josh Allen just if he gets 4,000 yards and let's call it 32 passing touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
Keon Coleman's a top wide receiver in this league. Let's call him top 12 wide receiver.
I could see him having a similar year that Cortland Sutton did last season.
He had
1,000 yards on 83 catches and 8 touchdowns. I feel like that would be a huge win, especially for a player that is going super
double
late.
His output.
Yeah, that would be insane value.
And they drafted him high second round. I mean, they've got a lot of draft capital, and they traded with the Chiefs in the first round swap, which everyone thought the Bills were ridiculous for doing. And when they picked up Xavier Worthy, and so he became this well, let's see what you got kind of player. But he's still got a lot of draft capital, so they're not going to just give up on him. They're going to keep developing this player. And this year, it seems like it's really paid off. And so I'm looking forward to that.
His ADP is 121.
Crazy.
If you notice with all of our picks, people who are listening, these are all players that you can get at great prices, because to win a draft, it wins in the middle and the end, really. Obviously, you have your big bust in the first round, but those players, if you hit on some of these breakout players, could you imagine what your team would be? Say Keon does double his production last year, and you take him in the 15th round. You have won your league. I mean, this is a big,
it could be a league winner,
big swing. And so I'm going to continue that with my breakouts. My first player was the number 1 tight end in 20+ receptions last year.
20-yard receptions, you said?
Yep. Could you tell me who that was?
A tight end.
Tight end.
Got Tucker Kraft.
That's right. That is right.
Man.
I had to go Homer. I was like, this kid's going Homer, man.
You guys went Homer. I got to go Homer.
Yeah, we all got Homer picks.
So, yeah, fun fact, Tucker Kraft was number 1 in 20+ catches last season.
Makes me sick.
Wow.
He sort of had to step up. He had a mini breakout last season with 700 yards and 7 touchdowns, but the Packers switched to a run-heavy offense later in the season, so he didn't have a lot of volume. Throughout Matt LaFleur's career, they have always been a pass-heavy team. They always included the run game, but the pass game always came first. And I could see that happening again this season. I still think Josh Jacobs will be good. He will get his dues. I just think it'll be on less carries. Tucker Kraft, though, was, let's see, he finished in the top 15 for fantasy points per game last season with a run-first offense. And this season in training camp, Jordan Love, when asked what their plan was for this year, all he said is, we need to get Tuck the ball more. Tucker Kraft, he is a tight end that every coach loves. He run blocks very well. He does not drop the ball. The Packers are in desperate need of players that do not drop the ball. This is a really talented tight end. I believe he ran a 4.5 to 4.6 at his combine. He's a big guy. He's 6'4", and he's got that dog in him too. In some of those games, if you watch him play, some of those runs, he was stiff arming people. He was trucking them. A lot of people compare him to George Kittle. I think in this Green Bay team that is looking for some alphas, he could be a huge player, and especially if Jordan Love goes back to his 2023 season throwing 32 touchdowns, he's a fantastic red zone target. If his touchdowns increase from 7 touchdowns to even 10 and 800 yards, you're putting yourself as a tight end 4 to 3. And he's going as consensus the tight end 11 outside the top 10. and this
Yeah.
guy should easily be in the top 5. I think he's a
Yeah.
good case for a big season. So that's my homer. We all have to get it out of our systems. Oof,
Yeah.
get it
Gotta
out. I
get it.
think
We all
Nathan's
got
the
one.
Leatherwood's the only one that didn't break in to the homer, but we'll get to him. My next sleeper is a guy that just he saved some people's seasons, and other people were very envious when his predecessor went out for the entire season. My breakout this season is Jordan Mason of the Minnesota
Oh, yeah.
Vikings.
Mm.
If you look
Nice.
at what he did last year, he was a phenomenon
He's
for something
solid.
that shouldn't have been there. McCaffrey was supposed to play. He ended up going on IR, and Jordan Mason came in and just really had a good season while he was in until he sustained an injury of his own. He had 789 touchdowns through before he got hurt was like seven games. He was super efficient um on a great offense. And I
Mhm.
think he goes to a similar good situation. You talk about the head coach, Kevin O'Connell.
Yeah, he's
Uh,
solid.
he's a great head coach, and the Vikings made a point to upgrade their offensive line this season. I think they're trying to help out the rookie quarterback, JJ McCarthy, and so that comes on a running game. Aaron Jones had the most touches of his entire career last season. This is a 8-year veteran because Green Bay knew that they couldn't give him full workload without him getting injured. He has an extensive injury history.
Mhm.
And at age 31, I don't believe that he goes the whole season. The Vikings gave up draft capital for Jordan Mason. They've talked that it's going to be a split backfield. Even if he's just the goal line back, this should be a good offense, even with a rookie quarterback. He's got a lot of upside. What if Jordan or Aaron Jones goes down? You got a full-time running back at Jordan Mason, a very talented running back behind a good offensive line with wide receivers that will make sure there's not linebackers in the box.
Mhm.
And this is a guy going very late in rounds. This is a guy you can easily get. I think he's a great guy to snipe. And I don't even think it's an insurance policy. He's not even the backup. I think he's going to be
Yeah, he's gonna be a
uh,
starter.
he's going to be a starter. It's going to be a
Mhm.
1A, 1B type of situation. But I think by midway through the season, Mason starts to eat up those touches because Jones, I love
Getting
Jones.
old.
He's one of the best Packer running backs, but he's getting old. His body
I
can't
hate him,
take it
dude.
anymore.
Yeah.
And so I think Mason is a great pick. So that were my breakouts
Awesome.
of this season. We'll go through Leatherwoods real quick and see what we think. He has Xavier Worthy as his first breakout
Ooh.
of the season. What do you guys think?
I think it's a worthy pick, but only because he's on an offense with Patrick Mahomes. And he did start to flash at the end of the year as well, just as most of these rookies that we've been talking about as breakouts did.
Mhm.
But it's the hater in me, to be honest. I'm not feeling it, but
Yeah.
I've got to give him his flowers. He is a fast man. I
He,
mean,
he's fast, but here's the thing: he got most of those points with Rasheed Rice on the IR. He was out for the season, so Rasheed Rice
Now,
comes back this year. I think Xavier Worthy takes a back seat. He's like a deep ball guy. He'll have like a couple 20+ point games, but I don't think he's gonna like really be something that is gonna win a fantasy championship. But that's just my thinking on it.
I can agree and disagree. The reason I've been a little bit higher on him is because we know Rice is going to be out for, I hear it's going to be closer to 6 to 8 games, but
You
it's going to
sure?
happen in the middle of the
yeah,
season, which is really weird. But that is also a reason why I'm a little worried because I'm like, how good does the guy, if he gets in rhythm in the middle of the season and then Rice comes back, how does it really work? There still is a lot of options on the Chiefs team, but this is a guy they spent a first round pick on. He's very fast. He flashed at the end of the season. Theoretically, the signs are there,
Yeah, you're
but
yeah.
right.
we're all,
4 to 6 games.
we're all Chiefs haters, so we can have
We
that.
hate the Chiefs.
Yeah, we.
His
Boo.
second one is a Bill as well.
Hmm.
It is Khalil Shakir
That's a
Really?
breakout.
Wow.
as a breakout. Yeah. That was an interesting one. He originally had Drake May. I had to take that from him because someone put that in before him. So he put Khalil Shakir, who was the receptions leader on the Bills last year, and I
Mhm.
believe the yardage leader,
Yeah, that
but
as well.
it was only at 730, I believe was
821.
Oh, really? 821.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all it took.
76 catches for 821 and 4 touchdowns.
Didn't they just
Obvious.
extend him too?
Yeah.
They gave him big boy money.
Yeah.
Not like high end guy, but I think
it was decent money.
Yeah.
hmm
So I mean, it's possible that he continues to get those receptions. The only thing I worry about him is he's very much just a slot
Mhm.
type of player. I would rather the upside of a Keon Coleman with a bigger frame, or
I'd
even
draft Keon Coleman all day over Shakir.
I haven't
Upside.
given up on Dalton Kincaid yet. I hope he's not. That would just be a shame if he's bust. But I would rather take those types of guys. But Khalil Shakir did lead the league or lead the team in targets, receptions, and yards last year. So for a high-powered offense, it's there. But
Yeah,
we
absolutely.
are going to move on to, we don't like to be negative in the fantasy world, but we have to talk about our busts.
Oh, I'm about to be negative.
Oh,
So
we love it.
let's go through this, Dabs. Who are the two guys you are completely out on this season?
All right, so I've got a first round shocker, and this guy is going in round 1 in the pick 7 to 12 range on a 12-man league, and it's Puka Nacua. Now this is crazy because Puka is one of the most talented wide receivers to come out of college in a long time. I mean, his rookie year, he set NFL records. I mean, he smoked records, man. But his injuries are bad. I didn't realize how bad they were, so I looked up his injury histories since 2019. So let me read these off to you. 2019, broken foot, ended season early. 2022, leg and hamstring injury. 2023, which I think was his rookie year in the NFL, hip and knee injuries, but he set a lot of records. 2024, preseason, he hurt his knee. Week 1 versus the Lions, re-aggravated that knee injury and went on IR. Returned in week 8, right? So he was gone 7 weeks. Then week 11, injury to right knee, same as before. Also dealing with ankle injury. So this guy has got a huge history since 2019 of knee injuries, foot injuries, ankle injuries for a wide receiver. That's the death stroke. He's uber talented. Uber talented. If he could stay healthy, he'd probably be a top 3 wide receiver in the NFL. Hands down. This guy is incredible. But then he's got a quarterback who is Matthew Stafford. He had to have 2 epidural shots just to get through the pain of the slip discs in his back. Stafford is aging. So you got Stafford who's hurting. He's probably not going to make it through the year. Puka and his injury history. Then you throw in, they picked up Devontae Adams. So there's a lot of mouths to feed. I just don't like him in round 1. And as we've talked on this show before, I have a huge thing with players like CMC, Puka that have this huge long injury history. When you can go through multiple years, there's a risk and a reward. Your season can go all the way to the championship if you hit on the risk, and you could not even make the fantasy playoffs, with these guys if they get injured. I mean, you've got to have some serious depth if Puka and CMC go down on your team. So I do not like him in the first round. I don't know if I'm touching him. I did not draft him in any of my 3 or 4 leagues this year. I didn't draft CMC. I'm not messing around with that, Amon-Ra, guys like him. Amon-Ra is always healthy. He's always consistent. You got guys like that going around the 7th, 8th pick. Take Amon-Ra over Puka. So I know that's a surprising pick, but man, his injury history is pretty huge.
I had predicted that he would finish 1 at our first
You
show.
did.
And I'm not worried about his injury history
Yeah.
because he's still 24. I am
Yeah.
more worried about Matthew Stafford's injury.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like that came out like I think a week after our show. I'm like,
Mhm.
oh crap, because genuinely, if Stafford goes out, the fact that Stafford and McVay cook up the scheme, I'm gonna target one guy so much,
Yeah.
a white slot player, that he's gonna get some of the greatest fantasy
That's
performances
what we
you've
did
ever
with
seen in
Cooper
Cooper
Kupp, man.
Kupp. Yeah,
Yeah.
this I know they would cook up the same thing with Puka and Devontae, but
Yeah.
if he's out, if Jimmy Garoppolo's in there, or God forbid Stetson Bennett,
Oh yeah.
I would be so terrified to have Puka. So I
Yeah.
I understand the risks.
Especially on a dynasty. Man, I don't know. I
Yep.
mean, if Puka stays healthy and Stafford stays healthy, he could hit number one receiver,
Yep.
like you called in the first episode. So I don't know, man. I stay away from injury histories like that. They scare me, and I try to get more consistent players that aren't injured as much and produce consistently. My second one is, to me, another shocker. It is and it isn't. It's Sam Laporta. So I am a huge Sam Laporta fan. I loved him. His rookie year, he exploded. I had him on my team. I took him to the championship. Laporta got me there. He played lights out. He was sort of not as good last year, and now he's got a new offensive coordinator. Ben Johnson's gone, so Ben Johnson loves that 12 personnel with the two tight ends set. And man, he really thrived in that. Laporta just ate that whole scheme up. Well, he's gone. So I was looking up what the new offensive coordinator for the Lions focuses on, and he focuses on the deep ball, the vertical attack, play action, run game, which suits JMO, Amon Ra, and Gibbs to a T. So those three guys in fantasy are going to be lights out, especially Gibbs. My God, he's going to be insane. And I think JMO he's going to take off too. I mean, we could totally have a whole thing on him, as we've talked about in some of
Yeah.
the episodes. But they've got this rookie Isaac Tesla that man
Tesla.
at camp,
Tesla.
everybody's talking about this guy. He's got a great name. I mean, Tesla, bro.
And
right?
his preseason has been
But I
insane.
mean, he's from
Absolutely.
Arkansas. He's an SEC kid. I mean, he's playing some ball. Again, I think he's going to steal targets from Sam Laporta. So you got a lot of mouths to feed in that offense. And with Laporta, I've seen Laporta in some of these drafts going 4th round, 5th round, 6th round. I'm not touching him
Yep.
because I just don't think he's going to get the feeds, the looks that he did under Ben Johnson's offense.
So some of those guys that are going around that same round, would you take Sam Laporta if it meant you missed out on Amarian Hampton,
No,
Nope.
I take Hampton.
Marvin Harrison?
I would take Harrison
Okay.
because what I'm shooting for, I'm going to go Tyler Warren or Colston
Yep.
Loveland later in
'Cause
the
what-
rounds because
yeah,
those
you-
rookies I think are
Yeah.
going to take off.
Do you really think Tyler Warren will have a worse season than Laporta? I can't see it. I would rather take.
He's going to be better.
So Kamara is going in the same round as that. I would rather take Kamara over Laporta.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think, man, I think that Colts tight end Warren might have a Bowers type year.
It's very possible.
It's possible.
But we'll move on to you, Hollywood. Who are your two busts of the season?
It is so sad. I even have to talk about this guy because he has been a staple in this league for an incredible amount of time. In fact, let me read you off his average rushing yards per attempt here over the last number of years that he's been doing it. 4.5, 4.2, 4.9, 5.1, 5.4, 4.3, 4.4, 4.2, 5.9.
Mm.
His last season was 5.9. And that was when he moved to a new team. Who am I talking about?
You got me on this one, bro.
I have Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry.
Shoot.
Oh Lord, man, we
As
got
a
some big
bust.
takes on this bus thing, bro.
So Derrick Henry had 5.9 yards per attempt last year after he moved. And he had 325 carries. Okay.
Hmm.
To put that in perspective, he didn't touch 300 in his 2023 season. He was at 280. So he had 45 more carries last year at being a year older. And he had 750 more yards than he did the year before. This man was running up and down the field last year. He had a total of 1,921 yards on 325 carries.
Jeez.
That is the kind of workload that you want from your bell cow back, right? But generally, you're seeing these kind of numbers in a 25-year-old or a 26-year-old, maybe. But I think he turns 32 this year. He's 31 right now. And so I don't see him. And this is not a slight to Derrick Henry. The man is a first ballot Hall of Famer. He holds
absolutely.
records that no one like. I mean, you have to spend $250,000 a year on your diet and health care, which is what this man does, in order to be able to stay in this league like he has. But he will eventually go down. His health will start to deteriorate. His stamina, his endurance, his injuries. I mean, he's been very fortunate with his injuries, right? I mean,
It's a big boy.
he's just big, 252 pounds, 6'2", big guy.
God,
But
he's huge.
his average draft position right now is 11th overall.
Yeah,
That's first round.
insane.
That's the fifth running back in PPR on average off the board, the fifth one. So I just don't see him doing that, replicating the season he had, turning 20 or 32 before this season is over. And not again, this is not a slight towards him. For him to replicate it at his age would mean that he's doing things that no one has ever done before, and that's on a yearly basis because he's already been doing things that people haven't done before, running backs. So let's call a spade here and say that the 31-year-old man is gonna hit the wall, like you said, this year. And now it might not be like, okay, 1,900 yards. Well, he gets 900 yards this year. Not going to happen. The man falls forward for 5 yards every time he falls forward.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's still going to be a good running back. I just don't see him living up to that number 5 overall ADP. And that actually brings me to my second choice, being the handcuff to my first pick, my sleeper pick in Ollie Gordon. If Ollie Gordon is a sleeper, it is because Devon Achane is not living up to his ADP. I think Achane is going in the second round, middle of the second round right now on average.
Go in the first round too.
Which that is insanity. I mean, he is currently injured.
Yep.
So, I just don't, him going in that early, he's a great PPR back, right? I mean, he had, I think it was, let's see here, last year he had 592 receiving yards. That's more than my boy Keon, right? He had 6 touchdowns. That's more than my boy Keon. So he actually came out smelling like roses. If you were looking at those 2 seasons put together, you would have thought for sure Keon would have been the receiver, nameless on these stats. You would have thought Keon would have got what he had. But no, he had a pretty decent season there last year. His rushing yards was 907 on 203 attempts, 4.5 per carry. Not terrible, right? I mean, actually fairly decent. But with the catching prowess that he has, he is an electric type back. But when you look at Ollie Gordon and you have this backfield that is starting to get muddied up, And if they did, and we have coaches in Miami that are playing for their jobs this season.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to start making decisions that are good for the team and not themselves, so that
Yep.
they can keep wearing their nice fancy glasses and keep their curly hair. So they're gonna put people in positions to succeed, and other people are gonna have to suffer for it. And I see Devon Achane being one suffering. He's
Hmm.
still gonna be a good back, just like Derrick Henry is. But that second round ADP is very steep, in my opinion. I think that he is easily a third round pick, especially starting the season off injured at this point. Um, I third round is the earliest I'll touch Devon Achane. If I can get him in the fourth, I'll take him then for sure. But second round, I'm not even looking his way. So
Hmm.
Yeah,
that's
I just traded him away in a league for Josh Jacobs because I'm like it's too scary. It's just
I'm
not a guy you could trust.
and in fantasy, it's always been put to me like this, that when you're trading away players that are still in prime and they're still very good, you'd rather trade them away a year before
Hmm.
they go
Mm,
south than the
yeah,
year after they go
true,
south. And
true.
you capitalize on it. So obviously last year he was still great last year. Very, very good back. I think it was a total of what's that? 1,400 total, almost 1,500
Yeah, he's a
all-purpose
record.
yards. So, and with 12 touchdowns, that's still a great back. But if Ollie Gordon, Jalen Wright start to eat into his production, even at
Mm.
all,
Yeah,
I can
Well,
see his
and
efficiencies or his metrics going down, and his worthiness of being in the second round is not going to
yeah,
be there.
ESPN lists him at 191 pounds. That's not a three down back.
No.
I mean, heck, Tyreek Hill said that the other day. We
Yeah.
need a three down back. We don't have one. You know,
yeah,
191 pounds ain't going to cut it. It's like Jamal Charles. Remember how he took the NFL by storm because of his speed, but he was a small back, and then he flamed out in a couple years.
Yeah.
Well, if we're moving on to mine have similar issues, especially to start. My biggest bust of this season, and I'm talking to someone in our league about this guy. Kenneth Walker
Oh yeah,
is my big bust of this season.
injury prone.
This guy has it all though. If you look at the games he started last year, I'm looking this is not our main league, but this is a typical league. 18.9 points, 34.6, 15.6, 20.9, 23.3, 9.5, 13.7, 13.9, 13.3. You're like, oh man, this is a great player. What's the problem? Well, he missed 2, 4, 5 games last season. He missed even more the year before that, and he missed 3 his rookie year. So this is a guy that has a lot of talent, and he gets good receiving work as well, but he's running behind an offensive line I don't trust. He has an extensive injury history. I just do not believe he's currently dealing with an injury right now. I don't believe he can pull it together. He only had 573 yards last year. How many times do you think he had over 20 rushing attempts last season
In a game,
in a game?
In a game,
Yep.
2.
3.
Dabs is correct. He only had 2 games in which he rushed for more than 20 attempts, which I'm sure Derrick Henry had like 8. Saquon
That's
Barkley
not
probably
bell
had
cow territory
10.
either.
No.
You want a bell cow. You want a guy that can take this kind of workload and not get hurt. So I don't believe in Kenneth Walker. I'm not sure how much I'm committed to the Seahawks offense this year. So that's my first bust. My second one is, and also you have to spend a 4th round, 5th round pick on him. I don't see the value. My second one's going around the same area as him, 4th or 5th, and I just don't believe his production will continue. I see a big negative regression, and he was tied for the most all-purpose touchdowns in the league last year with James Cook.
Hmm.
He had 18 total touchdowns last year, and yet he was not a top 5 fantasy running back. any running backs that have scored that many touchdowns in years prior automatically are top 5 because usually it comes with rushing yards. Now, how many games of 20 plus carries do you think this guy had?
I don't know who it is, so
It's James Cook.
James Cook.
I said I said James Cook, right?
Okay,
You did.
sorry.
I'm sorry. It was phrased. I didn't
Yeah.
realize that was your pick.
Yeah.
James Cook, 20 more carries. I don't think. I think he never got it.
Yeah, I say one game.
He had one singular game and it was 20 carries.
Yep.
Most of the season, if I read you off how many carries he got each game, 19, 11, 11, 9, 20, 12, 17, 10, 19, 9 carries, 14, 6, 14, 11, 15. In his final game, he only had 10. This guy barely got any carries. And yes, he was very efficient. He scored a lot of touchdowns on a high-powered offense. I think James Cook is a talented player. What I'm saying is if you're paying a 4th to 5th round pick for this guy, do you really expect him to get 18 touchdowns again? This is an easy regression you usually see. I think if anything, Josh Allen takes them more or he throws them more. Like Hollywood said, you could just see a positive regression of Josh Allen throwing more touchdowns than them running it. But this guy was obviously not trusted to carry the ball a ton. He was not a big workhorse. This is a backfield where they're going to feature 3 different backs. I do think James Cook will be obviously the most prevalent one. I just think at his ADP, it's just not going to work out in the right sense that you should take him versus some of the guys around him. I also think he has a smaller frame as well. I think he's around the 180.
He's 190, 5'11".
Do we think he stays healthy? But
he's A-chain size.
Those are my 2 busts for this season. I will quickly read off.
Here,
Leatherwoods.
Let me ask you this question though: would you rather have Devon Achane in the 2nd or James Cook in the 4th? And let's look at what the touchdown comparisons are in the yardage. So we had almost 1,500 yards from Devon Achane, all purpose, but 12 touchdowns. Whereas we have 1,250 yards all purpose from James Cook and 18 touchdowns last year.
I'd rather have Achane.
Yeah.
You'd rather have Achane in the 2nd?
Yeah. Yep. I'm not touching James Cook, man.
I think Achane is, if he's healthy, is a lock for a lot of touches. He got like 70-something catches last year. And I do believe I think James Cook is explosive back, but I do believe Devon Achane is more explosive. I think he's an even faster back.
Yeah, I agree.
I would take him.
Even at their current ADPs?
Yeah. I think the Bills' offense runs through Josh Allen. I think the most fantasy points will be scored through him. And who finished higher last year, even though James Cook had more touchdowns. I think Achane was running back 5.
More yardage.
Yeah, I think James Cook was like 8 or something like that.
Yeah, he was like 8 or 9. So it really just comes down to Achane gets more passes. Josh Allen, instead of throwing the check down more times than not, just runs it. So that's me personally. I really wouldn't like taking either of them at their ADP. Same. I think there's better values, and that's again not saying that James Cook won't be a bad player. I think he'll be just as good for them this year, especially because he just signed the deal. I just don't know that scoring 16 rushing touchdowns and 2 receiving is a lock every year. So
absolutely not. That's what some analysts say is the unstickiest stat.
Yeah,
is touchdowns.
Yep.
They always change.
So Leatherwood's 2 picks are Garrett Wilson and Isaiah Pacheco as his bust picks. I could see both. Yeah. I'm a little bit higher on Garrett Wilson than others just because I think Justin Fields and him are college teammates, and Fields has done it before as well. So,
I
but
can
what do you guys think of that?
I am on the negative side of Garrett Wilson, and it's because of Justin Fields.
Mm-hmm.
His passing, um, uh, his passing stats this preseason training camp, worst among the worst in the entire league. And yes, he's done it before. He's not doing it now, and we have 2 weeks for the season to start. Now he might click it into gear, and Garrett Wilson is the only guy in the world over there for the Jets. So they did just grab that guy Mason Taylor, I guess, the rookie tight end over there.
Yep.
So that might turn into something, but um, yeah, for Garrett and hey, don't forget they've got Alan Lazard still over there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
So
Alan Guard.
yeah,
Uh,
he got a threat. No, but
Greeny's
honestly,
favorite.
Garrett Wilson, he's a great wide receiver, but definitely not one. I don't want anybody on the Jets.
I'll say this for Leatherwood. Garrett Wilson has the most targets through his first 4 seasons in NFL history.
Mm-hmm.
And yet he has never finished. I mean, last year was his highest finish at wide receiver 9, but he's never finished in the top 5, which usually targets relate to success. But if you look at his corduroy of quarterbacks throughout the years, it hasn't been good. The poor guy, he's super talented, we all know it. But again, he's fitted with a very inaccurate passer. So I could definitely see Leatherwood's argument on that, and especially Isaiah Pacheco as well. He just can't stay healthy. The dude runs so hard he hurts himself. So
Yeah.
You see that clip of him running so hard, even through the sideline, that he ran into the
Yeah.
bleacher wall next to the trash
Yeah.
can in
Yeah.
preseason game.
He's crazy,
Yeah.
dude.
That's amazing. I mean, just stop running, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just don't do it.
One quick thing on Garrett Wilson. Justin Fields last year at Chicago. Of course, I like Justin Fields. Him and DJ Moore had a pretty good connection. DJ Moore had, I think, 100 catches or a little over 100 catches and 1,300 yards. But Justin Fields was just locked in on DJ Moore the whole time. So if he does that with Garrett Wilson could have a big year. So but there's a lot of boom or bust there. So,
yeah,
the Jets are the Jets. And it's probably more bust than boom with Garrett Wilson. So just,
yeah,
buyer beware.
yeah. But yeah, these are some great picks, guys. We're really happy that you guys were able to put these picks together right before the NFL season. We're really excited. How many days are we away? We're what, 2 weeks?
I think it's September
I
4th,
think
right?
yeah, I
What's
think we have
kickoff?
Oh,
yeah, we got 9. I think it's 9 days.
I
Let's
think
right
it's
now.
not this Thursday, but next Thursday is our first
Let's
NFL game.
go.
Is that the Eagles and Cowboys?
I think it's something like that. I think
Eagles
that
are
is
definitely playing. I'll have to look it
yeah.
up.
I think it is Eagles Cowboys, but yeah, the season is close to starting. So if you guys are doing your fantasy drafts, like a lot of people are this coming weekend, make sure to watch this video to see the best breakouts, busts, and sleepers so that you can win your league. But thank you guys. This is Greeny, Dabs, and Hollywood, and we are excited to see you guys again next week, in which we talk about our rankings.